Mame fa na asema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Honourable members, I then move to take a statement standing in the name of Honourable Dr. Zenator. You have the floor.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to make a statement on piracy, maritime crime, and maritime domain awareness and the need to domesticate UNCLOS. Today I rise to make a statement to draw the attention of this august House to the growing threat posed by piracy and maritime crime in the Gulf of Guinea, the urgent need to strengthen our maritime domain awareness, and the critical importance of reforming legislature and institutional coordination in protecting Ghana's territorial waters and strategic interests, including the blue economy. The year 2023 marked a decade since the signing of the Yaoundé Code of Conduct. It is a regional framework developed to prevent and suppress illegal maritime activities in the region and, in general, enhance maritime security in West and Central Africa. Ghana is part of the sub-region Zone F under this framework, which also includes Côte d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Burkina Faso. Zone F is managed by the Multinational Maritime Coordination Center with its headquarters located in Accra, precisely the Christiansborg Castle, Osu, in the Klote-Kole constituency, which I have the honor of representing in this House. Despite Ghana's prominent position, Mr. Speaker, our domestic legislative and institutional framework remain inadequate to match the scale and complexity of the maritime crime threat, which has transnational dimensions to it and also a direct impact on our national security. Some of the challenges Ghana faces are as follows. Ghana has still not completely domesticated the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, the principal international legal framework for maritime governance. The definition of piracy under the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, Section 193, is inconsistent with the Article 101 of UNCLOS, which has resulted in our inability to successfully prosecute acts of piracy under our laws. Lack of clear regulations and sanctions in place to address issues of crime at anchorage, especially since Ghana is both a coastal and a port state. Ghana does not currently have a standalone maritime offences law, the absence of which means that prosecuting for piracy and other maritime crimes is hampered by our ability to respond swiftly and effectively, but it also undermines our commitments under international law. Our maritime insecurity arises from increased transnational organized crime, illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, environmental crimes and environmental degradation, disappearing biodiversity, and effects of climate change, to name a few. Some of the maritime crimes include piracy, armed robbery at sea, illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, drug trafficking, human trafficking, oil bunkering, and smuggling. And this requires harmonized legal responses across various jurisdictions. Without the domestication of UNCLOS and other relevant instruments, Ghana remains vulnerable to these offenses and prolonged legal proceedings that benefit perpetrators of crime. Mr. Speaker, piracy and maritime crime have direct and tangible impact on Ghana's economy and the well-being of our citizens. One of the most significant but often overlooked effects is the elevated cost of maritime insurance premiums for vessels traversing the Gulf of Guinea. Because of our maritime corridor, which is considered a high-risk zone, shipping companies are charged higher insurance rates. These costs are ultimately transferred to the Ghanaian consumers in the form of higher prices for imported goods, including food, fuel, machinery, and pharmaceuticals. In other words, Mr. Speaker, the insecurity in our waters is quietly taxing every household in Ghana. This means that the cost of living is indirectly inflated due to our inability to fully secure our maritime domain. If we are serious about improving our economy and protecting our borders, we must equally be serious about maritime security. Mr. Speaker, another area that deserves attention is the disconnect between the Yaoundé conduct and, and fishing communities. There is a pressing need for greater inclusion, awareness creation, and sensitivity at the grassroots level. Maritime domain awareness must not be limited to the corridors of power or security sector alone. It must extend to coastal communities who are both stakeholders and, unfortunately, sometimes vulnerable to recruitment by criminal networks. Finally, let us not forget that maritime crimes begin and end on land. The nexus between maritime crime and border transnational threats, including terrorism and organized crime, cannot be ignored. As such, maritime security is not just a naval issue, it's a national security issue. Mr. Speaker, in light of these realities, I would like to recommend some of the urgent strategic actions that this House, courtesy of the Minister of Transport, in collaboration with the relevant ministries, departments, or agencies, submit to the House a bill that will pave the way for the repeal of our current outdated piracy laws and ensure that Ghana is fully compliant with UNCLOS and aligned with regional and global efforts to tackle maritime crime. In the course of my research and inquiries about this statement, I've also learned that steps are being taken to that effect and that Cabinet has given approval for the bill to be laid. I urge the Minister to do so as soon as practical and urge members of the House to support this bill when it does come before the House. I'll also urge the government to consider establishing a fund financed through a portion of port charges to support maritime security enforcement and operations, technological upgrades, community engagement, and coastal surveillance infrastructure. Coastal fishing communities should, in collaboration with traditional leaders in coastal communities, be formally integrated into the National Maritime Security Strategy of the country. This can be via training programs, community-based reporting systems, and economic alternatives for vulnerable coastal youth. Furthermore, I'd like to urge the government to embark on intensive awareness campaigns on the dangers of maritime crime, the importance of legal fishing practices, and the economic value of a secure maritime domain. And finally, to urge the implementation of the National Integrated Maritime Strategy and its implementation plan that were adopted a few years ago. They provide a very good framework for addressing maritime security and ocean governance in general. Mr. Speaker, the time has come for Parliament to show leadership in this area. Let's prioritize the necessary legal reforms and work across the aisle to protect Ghana's economic interests, especially our blue economy, territorial integrity, and the safety of our people. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, our maritime domain is not just a frontier. It is a source of trade, energy, nutrition, and sovereignty. If we're to secure Ghana's future, we must secure our maritime domain. Let's demonstrate leadership in this House through legislative reform, oversight, and a collective sense of urgency in rising to meet this challenge. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Mr. Speaker, we are in here to accord you every respect. We will assist you in this House. Mr. Speaker, we are in this political act together. And this thing happening today is posterity in action. I was there. I was there. We were in government. And our friends knew the views of stakeholders in the governance of this country on this matter. And they were clear in their ambush. Now, the chickens have come home to roost. They have come home. Please. Only yesterday, when we were raising this issue, Mr. Speaker, you were saying that the bill must pass. Now you are in government, you are in the hot seat. When the IMF, the World Bank, IPU threatening, you are now running away, you are saying procedure. Which mistake? There was nothing administratively in error. I dare say for the records. You force LGBT on the throat of the Akufo-Addo government. Today, you don't want LGBT. You would want it. Mube pepa. Mube pepa papa papa papa. You use it to win election. Now, when your stakeholders, the international community is warning you, you want to run away. Run to where? You now see governance. You are in the kitchen, you see the heat. I was there. We will plead with you. Let's manage this situation. You say no. Remember that hot afternoon? Agboja, as a chief whip. You remember that hot afternoon? When you suffocated me with third reading. You are laughing. Mr. Speaker, this bill.
What is the meaning of what you said?
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Sometimes when I look at majority leader, it's not easy. It's not easy. Mr. Speaker, what I'm trying to tell them is that, you see, when they were in opposition, they forced this bill on us. Even when it was in court, they say the bill must be signed into law. We heard President Mahama, His Excellency. He said, oh, the bill, he's seen it, but he's referring it to the Attorney General. That was January. And then there would be, they will look at the very clauses, the aspect of criminalizing it and bringing a conviction and sentencing where the person must suffer a jail term. Well, the very thing that you wanted it, he said, oh, they have to look at it and change it. Mr. Speaker, today,
Honorable Minority
Mr. Speaker,
Leader.
let me land with respect.
Yes, but don't forget that
Mr.
at the
Speaker, stay away
material
from
time
this debate.
that this bill was being considered, I was the ranking member for Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. And I recall that the bill that was passed, there is nothing criminal.
Mr. Speaker,
we took out the criminal element at the committee sitting.
Mr. Speaker, with respect. Mr. Speaker, let me help. Let me refresh our memory. Mr. Speaker, I was a leader of government business. I brought an amendment. My amendments were rejected. Mr. Speaker, the bill was suffocating government at the time. We were in difficult situation. We pleaded with our colleagues that please, let's manage this situation. They said no. Today, you are in government. You've realized that you don't need LGBT. You see, this is like a scorpion sitting on a shivling. That scorpion, you place it on that shivling. That scorpion, that LGBT scorpion, you place it on that shivling. Whether you like it or not, you like it. Majority Leader, you stay away from this matter. You've had your bite. Mr. Speaker, it's okay. Leader, you say Mr. Speaker is not around. You say the clerk to Parliament is not around. I would oblige you. Now, Sasabunsam cry 1,000 years. Mr. Speaker will come next week.
But you are offending our rules.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, I'm explaining.
Whatever you say,
I will translate.
You have to translate.
Mr. Speaker, even if we give them 1,000 years, 1,000 years will come.
Very well.
So, leader of government, it's okay. It's okay. What do you want to say again? You want to do your you want to do your variation of order. You want to vary. You supported, you were in the middle bench. You were their chief legal advisor. You supported it. Now you are running away. Mr. Speaker, it's okay. It's okay. Mr. Speaker will come next week. Reverend.
I'm not PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.